Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one and welcome back to World of Tanks with the Mighty Jingles. Today we've got a Tier 6 standard battle on the Muravanka map, starring salty old Viking in... what the hell even is that? Never seen that before. That, kids, is the British Tier 5 not armoured car, although it does look like one, on account of how it seems to have wheels with actual rubber tyres with a track running around them, but this is technically a light tank, although that's something else that I have issues with. This, let's be generous and say design. Light tank, a reconnaissance vehicle, armed with a 6-pounder or 57mm gun. As you can see, it's got a 4-shot autoloader. So it definitely has light tank armament, that 57mm gun. The two are actually 4, 2 on each side, tubes on the top of the turret. They would have launched rockets. And it definitely has light tank armour. This thing basically has no more than 12.7mm of armour pretty much everywhere, except for the gun mantlet. And in many places on this tank, it's even less than 12.7mm. I mean, this... well, technically, you could say it's not even an armoured vehicle, because in order to be an armoured vehicle, you have to have, you know, armour. And I'm not saying it's slow, because it isn't. It just doesn't look very fast. I mean, it's not lumbering around like a KV-1 or anything, but it doesn't appear to be moving particularly quickly, except it actually is. It's ploughing around off-road here at 65 kilometers per hour. It just doesn't look like it's doing 65 kilometers per hour, and the reason why it doesn't look like it's moving particularly quickly is because it is absolutely huge. It's a light tank, a reconnaissance vehicle that's a bigger, more obvious target than the tank destroyers, mediums and heavies it's supposed to be scouting for. There is no way that thing was concealed by that bush. The top of the turret was sticking out over the top of the bush. There is just no way. Oh, speaking of the size comparison, check out the Wolverine that he's moving up in support of here. Watch how this thing dwarfs the Wolverine. Okay, the minimap was in the way for most of it, but pay attention to the minimap, by the way. See the Wolverine behind him? You see the Mark IV cruiser that's just appeared behind that? Yeah, salty old Viking hasn't, although he's aware now. But now look at the size of this thing. Yeah, I know, it's huge. It's bigger than the Wolverine. He gets 2 shots into the cruiser, but sadly, since this is just a 6-pounder gun, the shots basically do about an average of 70 damage. And he only had 1 shot left, so there was no way he was going to kill the cruiser, and it was only a matter of time before the cruiser realised that too. So salty old Viking is getting the hell out of there before the cruiser finds out where it stashed its man pants. The 6-pounder gun on this thing isn't bad, actually. I mean, it's not great. We have to dial our expectations down a bit. This is a Tier 5 vehicle in a Tier 6 battle, and it is just 6-pounder or 57mm, so the individual damage per shot is pretty bad. It's around 70. But the penetration isn't terrible. 95mm, which is about average for Tier 5 medium tanks, which this is not, even though it's bigger than Tier 5 medium tanks. It's certainly good enough to defeat a Matilda from any angle, which is the rough standard that I tend to apply to gun penetration at this kind of tier. Which is kind of surprising, while salty old Viking has gone for a 100% gold ammo loadout. With the gold, you get 130mm of penetration. It has very, very good aiming time, less than 2 seconds. It's only 1 second between shots from the fully loaded clip, as you can see. And reloading the clip takes roughly 12 seconds. Also, the accuracy isn't bad. It's not great, but you have to, again, kind of dial your expectations back, because we are down here at Tier 5. He's trying to assist the friendly 88. The enemy SU-100, he doesn't have a line of fire, but the 88's defended himself, so he focuses on finishing off the South 40. 88 is an extremely... it's one of those vehicles that when it's top tier, it's godlike. When it's not, it's absolutely awful. And today, it's top tier, which is just as well. Otherwise, he absolutely would not have survived that. And he almost didn't survive it, except he had salty old Viking giving him support and fire from over here. Speaking of that support and fire, I was... oh, that's bad. That's the captured German KV-1. Oh, fortunately, it was on low enough health that he was able to take him down, securing his second kill, although he did take a hit in the process. And remember, with 12.7mm of armour basically everywhere, if you get shot at and hit, you're taking damage. If people throw stones at you in this thing, you're taking damage. There is still an ELC over there. And the 88 can only really afford to take one hit. And, well, I mean, the ELC, 90mm gun, not a particularly high velocity 90mm gun, but still a 90mm gun, could be a problem. So he's moving to support the 88. First he needs to spot that ELC. There he is. Oh, and he's facing this way. Takes a hit, finishes him with a second shot. So that's taken the pressure off the 88. And that artillery tracer has just betrayed the location of that enemy Hummel. Salty old Viking there acknowledging the 88's thanks in chat. Looks like the 88 is going to move forward and attempt to find and kill the Hummel. And so Salty old Viking is going to scout the middle in order to make sure that it is safe for him to do so, spotting the VK in the process. He's not hanging around on the hilltop waiting to see whether or not the VK is going to emerge from the other side of the building that it ducked into cover behind, because everybody else on the enemy team saw him and they're all down at this end of the map, including the artillery. So instead he does the hippie hippie shake, reloads, goes undetected. Okay, this bush probably could cover this absolutely huge light tank. Attempts to respot the VK, but there's nothing. I was talking about the accuracy of this gun, wasn't I? And then I got sidetracked as he was coming to the defence of the 88. 0.39 accuracy. Now by tier 10 standards that's pretty bad. But by tier 5 standards that's fairly average. It's certainly not bad. Check this out. There's the VK. So he's caught between two buildings. That's what Salty Old Viking is shooting through. VK's all, oh, I took a bunch of hits there, I better back off, and then move back up and stop, again, in the gap between the two buildings, where I just got shot from, allowing Salty to repeat the process, do exactly the same thing again, and take him out. The 88 is looking for the Hummer. He's going to find him, but it'll happen off camera. Note, he has 102 hit points. Yep, Panzer IV. First time he's been spotted this entire game, not reacting to getting shot at, sitting in the deployment circle, yep, AFK. There's the Hummel. 88 takes him out, but the Hummel got a shot off. Wait until you see how many hit points the 88 now has. Salty farming damage and another kill on the AFK Panzer IV. Have you noted that every single remaining member of the enemy team are all fighting, well, not the Panzer IV because he was AFK, but they're all fighting individual solo battles rather than grouping up for mutual defence and to mass their firepower. Every single one of them appears to be going out of their way to not support their teammates. I mean, you could argue that Salty's doing that as well, but, well, he has an excuse. He's the team's scout. He is a light tank, even though he's bigger than any remaining vehicle left on his team. But that is his job. And he was supporting the 88. Oh, there's the Marder. Again, not AFK. He just fired, hit and damaged Salty. But what was the point of his being there? He could have at least been using the AFK Panzer IV to spot and shoot at the targets that the Panzer IV was getting shot at by, but nothing. And based on the fact that while Salty was killing the Marder, he was not getting shot at by the Matilda Black Prince, that also means that the Matilda Black Prince is nowhere near. Off somewhere doing his own thing. In fact, with the exception of that AFK Panzer IV, you could split this map up into 4 quadrants and put all the remaining enemy tanks in their own quadrant, doing their own thing, completely unable to support each other in any meaningful way. There is just that Matilda Black Prince left. There he is. Both of these machines are armed with 6-pounder guns. The difference, of course, being that while the Matilda Black Prince doesn't fire a shot every second from a fully loaded clip, it doesn't have to wait 12 seconds every time it fires 4 shots either. These guys are now both basically one-shot kills for each other, so whoever lands the first effective shot is going to win. Oh, and it's Salty Old Viking. That's his 8th kill. A Radley Walters medal in a machine that's arguably the biggest and most obvious target in this battle. Ah, come on, Jingles. Surely you exaggerate. There was a KV-1 in this battle. He killed it. Yes, he did. Did you see him next to the KV-1? He's bigger than the KV-1. And he basically has no armour. The artillery has more armour than him. And he got a Radley Walters medal while not top tier, doing 2,500 damage in the process with a gun that only does an average of 70 damage per hit. Sadly, for some reason, he's just going to have to settle for the Radley Walters, Top Gun and High Caliber with the Ace Tanker badge, because the 88, who actually survived that battle on, I think, 2 hit points after getting hit by the artillery, if he hadn't been in an 88 with that thing's frontal armour, he would have died. But for some reason, despite Salty Old Viking offering, he wasn't interested in forming a battlefield platoon, so the 2 of them could have also earned a Brothers in Arms medal. Instead, he just dragged his 2 remaining hit points very slowly and carefully over to the cap circle and farmed some capture points while Salty Old Viking was clearing up the last few enemy tanks. So that's Ace Tanker, High Caliber, Top Gun and Radley Walters medal with 2,500 damage done in the Gabler's Destroyer, apparently a light tank, in this Tier 6 standard battle here on Muravanka. Hope you all enjoyed it, and as always, take care, and I'll catch you next time.